The majority of people believe that the earliest Muslims were all from the poor, freed slaves, and the destitute. Those are the ones that followed the Prophet ﷺ. And that is not correct.
AlMaghrib Institute presents Q&A with Kamal Elmekki.
But here's my question. Why is it that we think the majority of them were from the poor, the destitute, and the freed slaves? Here's something interesting. One of the scholars, he took the names of the earliest 67 Muslims in Mecca. The earliest 67. Take a guess. How many of them do you think were from the poor and the destitute and the freed slaves? From 67? Just 13. So why do people think everybody was from the poor and so on and so forth? Here are a number of answers. Number one, the Mawali, the freed slaves, the people who didn't have a powerful tribe to protect them, when they were punished, it was made public and everybody took part in it. So those stories will be more popular than the others. So for example, every child knows the story of Bilal, Ahadun Ahad, the big boulder on his rock, the punishment he went through. Because when Bilal was punished, Bilal was a slave and he didn't have a tribe that protected him. It was a spectacle. Everybody took part. Everyone could come and throw in a kick or throw a rock or whatever. So when they were tortured, it became more popular. So we've got more of those stories, and so we tend to think everybody was from that category. That was number one. Number two, the people who had powerful tribes or they were nobles and so on, they were punished, but it wasn't such a spectacle. It was kept in-house. Examples. Number one, Uthman ibn Affan, when he became Muslim, he had an uncle. Notice, it was a relative. It wasn't like they took Uthman, a nobleman, and they had everyone in the street attack him. But his uncle would wrap him in a straw mat and light it on fire. Mus'ab ibn Umair, again, noble from a powerful tribe, but it was his own mother who starved him in her own house. Likewise, we have another narration from Ibn Mas'ud. And Ibn Mas'ud says the first people to make their Islam public were 7. And he mentions the Prophet ﷺ, and Abu Bakr, and Ammar ibn Yasir, and his mother Sumayya, and Suhayb al-Rumi, notice the names, and Bilal, and al-Miqdad. He said these were the first 7 that made their Islam public. Then he breaks it down. He says, as for the Prophet ﷺ, Allah protected him through his uncle. As for Abu Bakr, Allah protected him through his tribe. And then he says, as for the rest of them, the mushrikeen grabbed them and made them wear iron armor and baked them in the sun. So this is another evidence that shows us that people without tribes, the punishment was severe and profound, and that's why we remember it. And those who were more noble, it was kept in-house. Other examples, Sa'id ibn Zayd ibn al-Khattab. So Zayd ibn al-Khattab is the brother of Umar ibn al-Khattab. And now, so this is now the nephew of Umar ibn al-Khattab. When Sa'id ibn Zayd became Muslim, Umar ibn al-Khattab would come and punish him. So it was kept in-house. Now another example, a Muslim by the name of Al-Walid ibn al-Walid, he had a brother, Hisham ibn al-Walid. And he was mentioning, so he narrates, the Muslim, Al-Walid ibn al-Walid, narrates that how Bani Makhzum, because they're from Bani Makhzum, they came. Notice they're going to go through the formalities now. They came to his brother Hisham. They said, what are we going to do about your brother who has become Muslim? And what are we going to do about the other people from Bani Makhzum who have become Muslim? So they're trying to get the green light. And then he says, his brother, Hisham, said, go ahead. He gave them the green light. Go ahead, beat them, punish them, but he warned them of killing anyone. So you see, when people became Muslim within a tribe, that tribe dealt with them and it didn't make it public and the stories didn't get as popular. But the stories of Khabbab ibn al-Arat, Bilal ibn Abi Rabah, they became popular because the punishment was incredibly severe. Khabbab ibn al-Arat, they made him lay down on red hot coals or stones, and the eyewitness says the only thing that put out the fire was the fat from his back, melting and extinguishing the fire. So that's extreme. And that's why those stories stick in our minds, but realistically only 13 out of 67 earliest Muslims were from the poor, the destitute, and the slaves and the freed slaves. So that's what happens when you look at the seerah in detail. Again, that's what we do in Desert Rose, coming soon to a city near you. Hope to see you there. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.